Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Membership Voice. I'm Kero O'Shea, the coordinator of The Voice and the host for today's webinar. It's good to see another wonderful audience spanning the globe. A particular welcome to today's special guests, Andy and Patrick, who I'll introduce in more detail in a moment. Gentlemen, how are you?
Doing fine, sir. Hello.
It's lovely to
Doing
have you
well,
here.
Kiro. Nice to see you. See all
Fantastic.
of
Good
you.
to see you too, Andy. Okay, firstly, and very importantly, I want to acknowledge the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, who are the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm hosting today's webinar. I acknowledge the strength of their continuing culture and offer my respects to elders past, present and emerging. And now for that conversation that we've all been waiting for, growing Rotary with companion clubs. Wonderful theme with Patrick Longano and Andy Rajapakse. Just a brief snapshot on each of these wonderful Rotarians. Past Governor Andy is a Membership Portfolio Director on the South Pacific Regional Council for the innovative regionalisation pilot that's currently underway here in Zone 8. Andy and his team have done great work on several innovative projects to grow Rotary. And Patrick Longano, hanging out to have Patrick here on Membership Voice. Patrick's a passionate advocate for modernising and expanding Rotary through innovative club models. Fantastic work. Does it through companion Rotary club models. He's helped clubs in North America attract and retain members by offering flexible and inclusive options for service. Last Rotary year, companion clubs, Patrick's innovation, accounted for a third of all new satellite model clubs formed in the USA. Over to you, please, Andy and Patrick.
Thank you, Kiro.
Thank you,
So much.
Kiro.
Thank you. So I will kick off, Patrick. Wonderful to have you. I think you and I discussed 2 days ago. I was saying membership is not a local, district, or zone challenge. It's a global responsibility for all of us because Rotary is a global community. And this is why I invited my friend Patrick from the USA to join us. He has spoken at 4 consecutive conventions, in breakouts in Houston, in Melbourne with me in 2023, 2024, along with me in Singapore, and this year in Calgary. And he will share with us his challenging times he has had creating new clubs and the successes he has had in North America. And this idea of bringing some global expertise here. And Patrick, in the audience, we have 73 Rotary clubs, including Assistant Governor Senen from Philippines. And
Wow.
we have our District Governor Robert, we have District Governor-elect Judy, and we have Deb in my own district. We have District Governor nominee Raj and a couple of others. We have members of our regional council, my colleagues on the regional council board. We have past District Governor Ian. We have Joe Martinovic. We have Stephen Lovison and a couple of other Rotary community leaders, and also wonderful to see my own past district governor, Dave Harmon from my district, and Lisa Hunt, and wonderful people. So I like to also recognize my team members. You know them, Patrick, and that's my team leader, captain for club transformation, Mark Huddleston is here. We have new club startup team captain, Raj Chan from New Zealand. We have Tony Hayward from New Zealand. We have alumni engagement team captain, past district governor, David Main from New South Wales. We have David Kenny from Jimbumba and a couple of others that you have met before. So, Patrick, let's go. Can you share with us what is this new concept of a companion club?
Andy, that's a great question. And first of all, I just want to say just absolute pleasure to be here. I actually see a lot of familiar faces on the call. Your team members are just absolutely fantastic. Getting to see Tony and Raj and kind of like one of my heroes in membership, Mark Huddleston. But to be here with you, Andy, you and Chris Jones, who is on the call, by the way, from America, my mentors in Rotary, and I really appreciate y'all having me. But it's a great question. When I first started doing this, I'll just give a brief background on how it all started, Andy. My wife could not join Rotary. I was in a club from 2001 to 2004. And when I left the club for life reasons, my job, I left that club with 146 members. In 2017, when they moved back in from the country club to downtown, which was only about a mile away, and I could do that, I walked in and they had 46 members. 46 members, or excuse me, 47 members. They had lost 99 members in about a 14-year period, and it shocked me. But, you know, the typical things that went on were people said, hey, I'm going to ask y'all a question. This is participatory. Okay, so we're all going to raise hands. I'm not going to show any kind of slides or anything like that. How many people have heard if every Rotarian just brought one person to Rotary, our problems would be solved? Raise your hand. Yeah. Does it work? No. But I was feeling a little frisky at that time. So I said, you know what? If anybody in my family is a Rotarian, it's got to be my wife. She wrestles 25 kindergartners every single day in school. She's a kindergarten teacher, and then she's got to come home and deal with me. And that, you know, so that's the reason why we call her Saint Angie. So I proposed her for membership, and the board didn't even vote on it. They gave me a call, and they said, you know, she won't be able to join because she can't make the meetings. Now, kind of internally, I was a little, you know, taken aback and a little bit upset with that. So they said maybe she can join the Breakfast Club. I said, well, what time do they meet? And they said 7:45. And I said, she's a teacher. She can't make that either. And the very next sentence that they said is what set me off on this journey, Andy, is they said, well, just have her form her own club then. And I was like, we cannot figure out, this is a club that lost 99 members in a little over a decade, and we can't find a way to get a good hearted, you know, high integrity person into Rotary. And I started thinking, we don't have a membership problem. We have a flexibility problem. And so I started doing my research, and it took us about 14 months of the old people pointing, can you do this? Can you do this? Go ask them, go ask them. And finally, I just did it. I formed a satellite club where we had no meetings. We met at service projects. It was high impact. We put 79 people on in our first year. It was an absolutely incredible experience. And then one day I got a phone call, and I looked down at my phone and it said Rotary International. And I said, uh-oh, the gig is up. Somebody found out about this. I'm doing something wrong. I got on the phone. I couldn't be further from the truth. A gentleman named Audley Knight, he was the RMO at the time, regional membership officer over here. And he said, what are you doing out there? And I was kind of quiet. And he goes, you're not in trouble. Tell me what you're doing. And that's who introduced me to Patrick Eakes and Chris Jones, OGs in the ICA movement, the Innovative Club movement. And they brought me in from the woods. And really mentored me and kind of fleshed out the program and inside their program. And pretty soon people were asking me, how do you do this? How are you doing this? How are you doing this? And so I started helping other clubs. But there was a problem right off the bat. Every time I would start talking with another club, they'd bring me their board, and they would say, as soon as I said, it's a satellite, I got that far into the satellite club name, and they freaked. No, we're not doing a satellite club. Bob down the street had a satellite club, and there's a problem, and we're dying over here. Why are we building up somebody else's club? And so one of the nights I was on a call, and I knew it was coming, and I just said, no, this is a companion of your own club. This club is stated purpose is to stay with and build up our existing clubs. And I waited for a second. They went, oh, okay. And I grabbed my pen and paper and I wrote it down, and I went, that's what we're going to use. And we were off to the races from then on. So the difference between a satellite and companion, in my terminology, is if your stated purpose is to start a club with 8 people, and your stated purpose is that you want to grow and break off and do a brand new standalone, let's take the satellite club route. If your stated purpose is to stay with and build up our existing club, that's the companion club model. It's that easy.
So, Patrick, that's interesting. How many members do you need to start a companion club?
Well, technically, you need 8, just like Rotary International will say on a satellite club. But over the past 32 months, the average number that we recruit for a companion is 14.2. I don't think that we have the problem is not in the numbers. The problem is in the recruitment practices that we have when we do that. I was not one of the fans that thought that 15 should be, a brand new standalone. I don't think a companion or a satellite club is strong at 8. If you lose 2 people, where are you then? So, one of the first questions that we ask in our 4-step process when we get into step 3, when we start doing recruiting is, how many people do you want to start your companion with, or whatever club it is? But in a companion model, I'll say, how many people do you want to start your companion club with, 12 or 15? And most of them, over 80% of them, Andy, come in and say 15. These are folks that may not have recruited 15 people in the last 5 years, but they're believing now, and that's the reason why when we talk about recruiting until step 3. So they need 8 technically, and we'll do it with 8. But when they do the program with us here in the States, we have a tendency to achieve higher there, and I know for a fact that your team using what you guys have already learned and already been through down there, will do the same thing.
Yeah, Patrick, can you share with us the interesting story you told me a couple of days ago? How a Rotary Club with 6 members in the US started a companion club, and the club grew to 42 within the year.
Well, actually, one of the best parts about that story, it's the Rotary Club of Brevard about 2 years ago. Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago. They had 9 people on paper, but they had 6 people because they knew at the beginning of the year those three people were going to drop. So they took those 6 people, and they weren't going to do a companion because it was more like a rebranding, a refreshing of their club. And we took them through the 3 steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. And by the end of that Rotary year, and because of the absolute determination of the president at that time, who's Michael Dexter Smith, he's from England, absolutely crushed it. They wound up with 42 members, changed the way that the community saw the Rotary Club in that community. And even better yet, I believe the next year they added another 17 to it. So they went from 6 to 59 in a 2-year period. And you cannot be on social media and not see them at every single event. They're everywhere. And that's the attitude that they took. We want people to see us everywhere because excitement breeds excitement. So it's a great club and a great story. And one of the things that you guys are going to be doing, in this process, your wonderful team is doing not just companion models and standalone Rotary clubs and Rotarex. The club refresh option is a absolutely fantastic way to work to grow membership.
Patrick, so that companion club is still part of that club, right? They're together.
Absolutely. Every member that you put into a companion club counts for the home club's membership. And I want to add to that, Andy, that anything can be a companion club. Companion club's just a model, just like a satellite club is, just like a Rotary club is. That's just the model there. You can have an environmental companion. You can have an impact. If you've heard of impact clubs before, you can have an impact companion, which denotes service focused. You can have a companion of empowering women. You can have a companion of anything that you dream up. We can make a companion club to yours. It's a lot of places are making it their stated focus. This is our Rotary Club, but we're on the coast and we care about the environmental and cleanup and that sort of thing. So they will go ahead and have that companion to bring those people in that want to work that focus.
Okay. Patrick, could you tell us what is the name that you use for the companion club? How does the club, what you spoke about, the 6-member club, what is the name, and how do you go naming the companion club?
Well, I mean, it depends. When I did, because I really started really pushing the impact clubs because I believe that service is a gigantic umbrella. If you choose food insecurity, which is a great example right here, it's a good thing to have. It's a good stated purpose club. I was going to do an educational club for my wife, a cause-based club like that. But then I looked at the demographics and I went, well, there's only 1,400 people in my community that were educators or educators adjacent. And I didn't like that number. I wanted a bigger piece of the pie that I can recruit from. So service is what unites us. Service is what inspires people to do great things. So I designed the impact portion of it to be service focused. Now, my club, that first one, we never had meetings. We met at service projects. But the great part about the companion, no matter what model you choose, you get to decide. Your own club gets to decide exactly how they want to do it. So if you like the service focused impact, but you want them to have two meetings and then do a service project and then individualized service projects, well, fantastic. You get to decide all those things. The only thing that our teams do, and what I had done for the past 6 months or the past 6 years, is help try to usher people through, stay with them every step of the way. We've all been to Rotary meetings where they give you pieces of paper and say, here you go. This is, here in the States, that happens a lot. Here's some ideas, and then go and do it. And we all get back to our clubs and say, who's going to do this? So what we do is I knew that having the team there to help people focus in on what they want and walk them through the steps is what we did, sir.
Good. Patrick, could you share with us how much in America, in the US, in North America, you pay for a companion club? What is the cost of their membership?
Well, Andy, I'm glad you hit on that because I've got a list over the past 6 years. I keep a live document of the top 20 objections and how I overcome them. And can anybody guess? Raise your hand if you can guess what the number one objection is. Yeah, we got a lot of people shaking their heads. Yep. Money. Number 2 through 20 are something else, but they're money. It always goes back to that. And the great part about having the team is like Chris Jones, like he's my partner in this, and Laura Carey, see Mandy Landrum, the people on the North American side of the Club Creation team, they've sat through these meetings. They know that that's what's coming. They know how to usher people past those things. I did 1,172 video calls last Rotary year. And so I'm not saying I've seen everything because as soon as I say that, I will see something else. But I do know how to overcome a lot of those objections. And you will too. Everybody out here, you will too, as you start working through processes and start hearing the same things. But one of the things that I learned from you, Andy, which was great, you've always been, kind of like somebody that I look up to in Rotary. When you walk in and you're in a membership room, you see people like Mark and Andy, you're just like, they know what they're talking about. So I use them a lot for advice and counsel. And you learn from them how to overcome objections just by listening to them how to speak because they're so genuine with at that member level there. So I encourage people, if they're doing this, I know it's tough. I'll give you a general answer on the money portion, but don't let that stop you because the home club gets to decide that. Okay. They get to decide it as they're going through the process. So when I first did it, I did it by the kind of the seat of my pants. They said, how much you get to charge? And I was like, that's the last thing I was thinking about. But I said, well, how much are RI dues and district dues? And they told me, and it was around 130 USD. And so I said, we'll charge 180. And they said, why? And I said, well, because we don't have a meeting place. We don't eat food. We don't do anything. Remember, my buddy Chris Jones always says Rotary's not expensive, meals are expensive. So we were sitting there and we did it. Now $50 for the club doesn't sound like a whole lot of money, but when you have 80 people in that club, and you don't have any expenditures, that it does add up pretty quick. So we did that. Now, if you ask me what I would do if I knew now what I didn't know back then, I would do 240. Now, I chose 180 not just because it was around $50. I chose 180 because it is $15 a month. Now, we pay quarterly, but it's $15 a month. And then when I went to 240, it's $20 a month. Or 25, it's $25 a month. It's the cost of Netflix. People nowadays, they think like that. They think in that monthly payment. They don't think quarterly. We did quarterly, back in the day, because our treasurer didn't want to collect all those checks. Is there any, zipper bag treasurers here on the call? Fantastic. Anytime I go into a club and I see a zipper bag, I want to see how worn that thing is. So offering people those flexible options and putting it down to that base where they can make a decision if it's something that's affordable to them is very important. So we go through all of that as we go through the steps, and that's what your team will do with you. But the home club, make no mistake about it, you determine the pricing of it. We just give you best practices, tell you what we've seen, and then you guys make an informed decision on what you want to do.
Okay, Patrick, we also have past District Governor Stephen O'Connell and Chris Jones. Nice to see you from the US. Patrick, can we go on to the strategy part? How do you start so many clubs with your team in North America Club Creation team? And what kind of tools are you using? And this session, I think I'll let you continue in that and then go in for questions with the audience.
Okay, fantastic. Do you mind if I share my screen?
Kero?
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here real quick. Bear with me for 1 second. Put it down here. Click share.
Yeah, more about the
All right.
one step two you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to show you. So I was doing this for about 6 years, by myself, me and Karen. So if you ever got an email from me that was, punctuated correctly and had correct spelling, that probably came from Karen. But with me, I just helped, and then the next one helped, and the next one helped. And about a little over a year ago, not quite a year, in November, Chris Jones and I wrote a proposal to Rotary International asking for a trial to get some help because, it was just growing exponentially. We in all of North America, we had we accounted for approximately a third of all companion or satellites formed in all of North America coming from one person. And so we needed help. I went to Chris. Like I said, he's always been one of my mentors on that. I came to him with a proposal. He sent it to our director, Patrick Eakes, gentleman who was our ICA with Chris. Later, he was now a director, and we sent it to him. And then next thing I know, they're voting on it in February at IA, where all the sitting directors and all the directors elect and nominees voted unanimously to let us form the North American Club Creation Team, which is a cross-zone cadre. You're not interzoned. If you're available and you have time to help, our specialists will help you at any time. It doesn't matter what zone or what district you're from. The reason why we thought that was so important is if I go on holiday, you don't want to wait a week and a half to do it. So we have these people that we were training. They were not appointed to that position. They were interviewed for the specific skill set that they have to do this. And we came away with 25 original members of the North American Club Creation Team, and we started training. At that point, I saw that there might be a little flaw in my system because on the round robin, which I said is most important, how in the world do if I'm doing a step one, how do I know that Andy, if he draws the step two, is sticking to the same procedures? So we developed this app. You're looking at the back end right now, but on the front end, You can use it on the desktop. You can download the app, whatever it is that you want. I enjoy using it on the desktop as well, because you can really see it. And it just follows the same 4-step process for anything that you want to do. Companion, satellite, Rotaract companion or satellite, standalone Rotary Club, interact, early act, club refreshes, any of that stuff. It follows the standard same 4-step process. The first thing that we're going to do in this process is get everybody onboarded, make sure that they understand what exactly is in there, and then we go through the process with everybody there. So we created this app. And Andy, would you like me to describe just quickly what the 4-step process is?
Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
Fantastic. So what you're looking at right there is just a basic, is unlocked version of the app. Step 1 is just a brief conversation and consultation. And so it's basically just sitting down with your club, and we really want to know what your club's about, what you love about your club, what your club does, how many years you guys have been there, and tell us all the wonderful things about your club. And then we want to know if you didn't have to worry about if it was allowed. I've heard that so many times in the past 6 years. Is it allowed to do that? Are you allowed to do that? If you didn't have to worry about if it was allowed, if you didn't have to worry about what Rotary thought, if you didn't have to worry about any of that stuff at all, how would you paint that picture of your club? How would you vision your club being in your community? What your community saw your club as being? And you tell me, and you tell the team, and we make sure that we will do and help you get that dream out there. When we get to step 2, that's when we construct exactly what you painted that picture for. We build that and we overcome any objections that are there. That's usually the step, Andy, where they will bring some of the back table. Anybody have a back table at one of their Rotary meetings here? Raise your hand. Y'all know the back table? Okay, if you're not raising your hand, you're probably part of the back table. Okay, so that's usually when some of the naysayers come, or they'll come and have their objections, and we sit patiently and answer any questions that they have, overcome any objections that they might have, or misconceptions that they might have, and really work to get that done so that they can have their board vote to proceed. Step 3 is when we really start to get fun. But in step 2 right there, no matter what type of club that you picked, we put all the resources in the area that you need. As a matter of fact, Zone 8, our South Pacific Club Creation Team, all of your guys' resources in one place right here. So if you guys choose a Rotary Club, all the resources that you might need are in there. If you choose a companion club, all the resources are in there that you need. You don't gotta go anywhere to go get anything. It's all right there. You can either download it or click this button and copy and paste wherever you need to go. But when you get into step 3 is the creating and coaching. It's something that isn't done a lot here. We like to talk theory about things instead of where the rubber meets the road. Well, this is the thing where the rubber meets the road. And we work with you to actually recruit the people that you want to for your club. A lot of times we'll use Discover Rotary, or what I've used over the past 6 years is a method called bucketing, which is micro-focusing on 3 certain areas that you want for your club. The average time it usually takes at that point, because we've broken it down into the system, is 23 days from the time you leave step 3 to the time you have the necessary people, the founding members of your club. It all depends on the pace that you guys want to go. But in the app, it makes it very simple. Once you get to 3, it unlocks this button where you can send applications straight from here. But I usually live up here, Andy, right next to the settings. I can click right on there, and it takes a second to pull up because it's actually creating a live document right now for your specific club. because you're really going to see the magic now. So say you're out recruiting and you're adding your contacts to it. You would put their first name, last name, email, phone number, and add the contact to your list. When that person is ready to join, you click the button and send them the application either by email, text, WhatsApp, however they want it delivered. It will put them over on the application sent. And as you can see, on this test version, we've sent 6. 4 have been returned. You can see it's very simple to see the people that returned it. And you can actually click on the button to the people that haven't done it, haven't returned it yet, and send them the reminders or call them and give them a reminder. Now, not only does the app do that, where you can do it manually, if you're sending out applications, if they haven't been returned at 3 days, 7 days, and 10 days, there's a very nice little nudge up to the top of their email box saying, hi, here's the application to go ahead and fill out again. And they have that. Reason why doing that is really important is because it will fill out all of the paperwork for you. In step 4, again, this is a test companion, so it dropped the application for the companion satellite. It dropped the the new member charter list. And as you see here, those 4 responses are there. And here are the responses. It actually puts it in the form that data needs to put in. So as we go through this, it's automatically creating the paperwork for you. So in step 4, it gets downloaded into Adobe DocuSign out for digital signatures. A click, and straight to your wonderful club and district support people that are there in the South Pacific. You got a great team down there. I've spoken with a lot of them. Barbara and everybody down there is fantastic. So it automatically goes to them, already filled out, the I's dotted, the T's crossed. And it not only helps the club with the speed of the process, but it also helps on the other side. They're getting clean applications. They're getting clean stuff, to club and district support. So that's basically really easy, the 4 steps. It's not hard. It's not theory. It's just do. And I think that's what we lacked just a little bit over here in North America, was that we were talking about it, not being about it.
Very interesting, and I'm sure my audience will have a lot of questions. Patrick, could you tell us can anybody get this app?
Yes, absolutely. Anybody can get the app. We ask that one per, like somebody, if you're going to have like 3 or 4 people working on it in your club, one person will go ahead and download the app and create the account. And then we show them how to have the other people download the app and join that one already in formation, because you don't want to have 14 things out there. You want to have them all sending applications to the same form, collecting applications, doing that sort of thing to the same account. So there is right up here. If I was in step 3 and I was me and Mark I wanted Mark to recruit with me, I'd say, hey, Mark, download the app, check the box that says club already in formation. Here's the club access code. You put that in there, and now me and you are on the app together using the same application, so you're not piecing it from here and piecing it from here. Very, very easy to do. And I know how big your zone is. So one of the really wonderful things there is that it has, I believe, he's added the other ones. I believe it has all of the Rotary supported languages already built into the app. I know that you have some islands down there that speak French and several different languages. So every language that Rotary support is in here, and we can add more if needed in that process. So it's a really good system.
This is an excellent tool, Patrick. And how does someone download the app?
Well,
where should they get?
Hey, real easy. We can go ahead, and there's several ways that we can do it. We can go ahead and send lightning links if we want to, straight from from here to somebody. So if I was working with one person, I would send them a personal link. But right now, if y'all want to get your phones out, we'll go ahead and pop this up real quick. Anybody that's got an iPhone that's there, if you aim it at the screen and open up your thing, you can go ahead and scan that right now. and you will be able, it will take you directly to the app to go ahead and download and create your account. It's no charge for this. Your zone is getting this for you to help you build your club. This is just a tool that your zone's provided to you to do that. So there's no charge to the clubs to do this. It's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to use something that can help you, whether it be a companion club, a silent club, or even just like I said, a club refresh. So that's the Apple Store, and I'm going to go ahead and switch over here to the Android. Where's my Android people? Raise your hand. Woo! There we go, Mark, my man. I knew I liked you.
Mark
I
has
love
a
it.
question too.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's the Google Play. I'll leave that up. Do you want to go ahead and take a question, Andy?
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, hi, Patrick. Thanks for joining us. Not so much a question, just a reminder. We have with us some district leaders and also some Rotary community leaders. And if you can mention that they can get access to a method through this app that they can oversee what's happening within the clubs in their group or in their district, that they can get access as a like at arm's length. If you can just go through that, please.
Absolutely, Mark. Great point. I mean, it's an absolutely great point because we rely on our district leaders and our community leaders to do this process. And if you hear me out on this, I think you'll find the area that we really want to do. So this is the back end of the app. Okay. So I'm sharing with you some information here. Since June, this is really it worked really good. We're right now in North America working close to 900 clubs. Started at 0, and we're working close to 900 clubs. Now, what happens, say I'm just going to pick one here. I'm in step 2. Your district, if we're working with a club in your district, and this would be the South Pacific Club Creation Team, they can go ahead and add up to 4 people in the district or community leadership email there, and you will be automatically notified anytime somebody is promoted. They would automatically get an email and say, congratulations, the Rotary Club of Sydney has just been promoted to a step 3. And you know exactly what's going on in the thing. You're notified of what kind of programs are going on in that district. But when we left Calgary, I was feeling really good. Chris Jones, I said, Chris, I got an idea. And he's like, he's like, what do you need? I said, I need to leave a little bit early because I got an idea. And I really started working on this. And then when Chris got home, we really finalized it. We really wanted to give this type of back end to each one of the district leaders. Okay. So, and this is really a tool for our district and community leaders, even our regional leaders, to be able to take a look and get a snapshot, not just a snapshot, a glance of what's going on, and how it's developing. So say that I was in this district and I've got this person. Oh, wow. Okay. Look, Bob is doing a standalone Rotary Club. They expect to have 12 members. 10/15 is their cutoff date, so on and so forth. They can see the share list and they can read any type of notes that any of the team members had. So they know what's going on with that club. One of the good parts about this is that the community and district governor can go ahead if they have a membership person that's within there or they want their DGE that's on there. They get to decide who gets the back end access. The only thing that we ask, if we don't do it the other way, we're just notified. For this, we want you to have the ability to allow your folks like Mark or Andy or Raj or any of the other wonderful people that are on the team, like Tony's here, Stephanie, David, Matthew. You just assembled the best team on the planet. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that they have the ability to come in and on your next president's call or your next membership call or whatever, your assembly, let them zoom in and do a quick 15-minute presentation on that. And the people will download it just like you guys did. And that will drop them in here. So then that way the leadership in that district will be able to help matriculate those all the way through from step 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, all the way to chartered. And they can assist. Also, it gives you guys the ability when you're out making your club visits or you're doing anything like that, somebody says, "Hey, I'd love to do that." You can click on the QR code, tell them to go ahead and scan it. You can message the members of those clubs that you're working, which is fantastic for you to be able to do. You can request a speaker from your Zone 8 club creation team. You can do any of those things. And it also gives you an unlocked version of the 4 steps. So if somebody says, "What am I going to expect?" You'll be able to show them, if you'd like, the 4-step process that they'll be going through. And it's not that scary. So, Mark, thank you very much for bringing that up. It's a really good opportunity for the district. I will also say this, that club creators and membership people are made. We don't choose it. There's a lot of people here that I can see 3 of them right now in my view that would probably talk to mannequins about Rotary and membership. I know I have. And so one of the great things about this is it gives them the opportunity to get in front of your folks. But your district people that you put on, we encourage them to join the meeting, observe those clubs going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, to chartered. Do it again, 1, 2, 3, 4, chartered. That way they understand the process. They know the process. And I can guarantee you people like your director, Andy, and Mark, and all the other people that are on the team, you'll get several people that say, "I love this process. I love doing it. I'd love to do it with you." Now we're all of a sudden building this absolute wonderful bench for continued expansion of membership in your area.
Patrick, this is a wonderful tool for club creators because this is actually the funnel that captures all our leads and sends it through a process. Now, I know this is a private app like Uber or Airbnb. It's not a Rotary International app. It's an app that you created with your team.
Yeah.
Could you share with us the back-end access that we give makes it very transparent to the district leadership? Because I know that many times when we form clubs, sometimes the district leadership or the community leader does not know. So is it that the district governor requests the access to that district? Or is it any member?
Well, when the district governor downloads the app, there's a checkbox there that says requesting district access.
Okay.
Now, we will always honor the district governor as that authority there. So if we have somebody come in that's a DGN and says, "Hey, I'd like to have access," not a problem at all. The sitting DG will make sure that that's, because I've been in situations where the DG's like, "Yeah, I'm doing these other things." The DGN will go ahead and run this for our district, and they'll do it. But most of them, the district governor will get on. We show what to do. They'll give us the names of the people that have that district access. So they have their own team. So transparent that we'll be able to see this and help usher through the process and also help your team out there, Andy. And it's just been really a joy to watch that kind of grow together, because I know for a fact that we're building our bench here as people watch and observe at that level. We've been told that we over here that we needed to have a new club subcommittee chair. And when I've been talking with a lot of the DGs, they're like, "We haven't created a club in 5 years. So how do we fill that position?" And I'm like, "Well, this would be a great way." You put them on there. They'll be notified when somebody books a meeting. They can pop on and observe as they go through. Now they're getting, training with you and Mark and, Raj and Tony and, David and, everybody on your team. They're getting that training on how to do it. Talk about on-the-job training right there. So that's a really neat process for them to do. And it always makes me smile when I see that on there, because I know that person really wants to do their best, really wants to learn it. And I know that in a couple of years, I'll be able to sit in front of my books and read, because we've got a whole nother crowd coming behind us to be able to do this.
Yeah. And Patrick, in addition to governors, in our zone, we also have Rotary community leaders instead of assistant governors. But I think like Senen in the Philippines is assistant governor. So they also can get access through their governor.
Absolutely. And we encourage that, especially in areas that they're doing this, because, this isn't just for growth. The biggest portion of this is the retention. In my opinion, it's the surprise portion of it, because most people, when we talk, we've got to grow Rotary, we've got to go Rotary, got to go Rotary. Yes, we've got to go Rotary, but we've got to engage our members and give them a place that they can go when times need to be flexible for them. And a companion model or any of these options that are in there, you can use to keep people there. And the AGs, usually your community leaders, are the first ones, the boots on the ground in that area, that understand the retention aspects and challenges in that area.
Yeah, Patrick, I think I will ask you to answer the question. There are many questions. I know past Governor Chris Jones is answering some, but if you can take some of the questions, and
Sure.
shall we get Kero to help us?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, well, let's go over to Stephen Lovison. He's got a great question there about the most popular types.
Sure. See, Stephen, is Stephen going to ask me, or I'm going to?
Yes.
Yeah,
Steve.
I can ask you. Hi, Patrick. Well
Fantastic,
done.
Stephen.
Love the tech. Of all the types started this year, what are the most common themes? Are they young professionals, or are they in corporate settings? Are they cause-based? Just give us a flavor of perhaps where to start
Sure.
looking.
Well, I will tell you one thing. Alternative time clubs are crushing it, and I think it's a little easier of a overcome objections type thing. Oh, they are the same club, they're just meeting at a different time, helps transition that. So alternative time clubs help a lot. Cause-based clubs are wonderful. I'm seeing a lot of just wonderful ideas that just blow me away. You've got the impact one that really gives you access to 95 to 99% of the public out there, that says that they believe that they should give back to the community through service as a price for living there. That's what I always say. Do you think that you should give back as a price for living here to your community through service? I mean, everybody says yes to that. And my next question when I ask them is, can I show you a way that you can do that at your own pace in your own time? I mean, it's just a really nice, simple way. So that impact is a really good way to kind of get that. But I will tell you, there's some wonderful ideas coming out. There's we've seen a lot of diversity clubs and that sort of thing, but there's never been a hit on it. How do you really package that to where our club can do that? And I'm working with a club in Albany, New York right now. A lady named Pam and a gentleman named Zoe came to us, and they said, we want to do a companion club, and we really want it to be diverse. We wanted to match our community. We want to do this. And so we had a really inspiring step one. They really got me fired up. They were fired up. They came back 3 days later and said, can we meet with you? And I said, and they wrote a 3-page mission statement, basically, on what they wanted it to be. They took that vision portion so seriously, and it was awesome. And they even named the club Mosaic. And I was like, how about that? I mean, that's beautiful. So when you're out here and you're doing these things, and Steve and me and you are having a great conversation at step one, and we're hitting it, boom, 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 you're going to just spit out there, and you'll know what's important and how you want that community to see you. But impact clubs, service focused, because it will give you the big raw range. Diversity, food insecurity is very big here right now. We just did a standalone Rotary Club at a food bank, at a brand new food bank that they put up in West Texas. Those are the really ones. Mental health club. We're doing several of those. But I'm going to tell you this, there's a lot out there. And when we meet for step one, we'll show you the ones that have done, because something might spark something. But I promise you this, when you meet with your team, when you meet with these guys, what you dream you want for your club, you can do. You can do it. If it's not written down that you can't, and it follows the 4-way test, guess what? If it's good for you, your Rotary Club, and your community, and it follows the 4-way test, let's get that thing designed and let's go. So hope I answered your question, Steve.
Thank you, Patrick. Chris Jones has asked a question there that Glenda Briggs has answered, and thank you for that, Glenda. But the term RCL, which is short for Rotary Community Leader, has come up in the conversation, and because this recording is going to be accessed by people who may not be familiar with it, I'd like to ask our regional council director who's responsible for the RCL group, Stephen Loverson again, our Rotary Community nominee, to just speak to what the RCL is. It's similar to an assistant governor, but there are some important differences. Over to you, please, Stephen.
Yeah, I guess, thank you, Kero. For our North American friends, I think you're asking technically on paper, we're still AGs, I think, in most Rotary systems because we're in a pilot. Obviously, the technical side hasn't caught up with what an RCL is. But a Rotary community leader is looking after a group of clubs, either by theme or geography, usually within a district. And since July last year, their role has been to facilitate and get the clubs to work with each other using their own resources and to pull skills and strengths from within their cohort to propel their club forward in four main pillars, I guess: impact, reach. Honestly, I can't remember the other two. I'm just out this afternoon, but there's four main pillars that they're focusing on, and they're putting together what's called a growth plan. So in short, it's an action plan for the future of their clubs, but the beauty of it is that they work together and they pull resources from within each other. So it's also a leadership model, and it's working really well in most settings. We're 16 months in, but we have focus on membership currently as part of one of the pilot goals. So your presentation today is really well timed because I hope that the RCLs will go back to their clubs within their cohort and start putting this model in front of them. And I think that's why I asked for different types of, what are the examples of what's happening, so they can say, well, these are the popular ones, or these are the ones most likely to work. Can we get a quick win with a certain type of club and work on other ones?
Yeah, I think the quickest win on that, Stephen, is the service model, because that gives you that broad stroke. But I like to drill down on some of the other cause base. But one of the most important things to me is making sure that we continue to give space for young entrepreneurs to come in and feel welcomed and wanted there, and give them their own space to grow and learn. We forget sometimes that Rotary is probably one of the greatest leadership training categories that you can do. I mean, look at all the wonderful businessmen and people that are in these clubs, but we do need to make sure, and you use the companion or the satellite club model to bring in maybe, especially in different areas, a young entrepreneur, club, or anything like that. So, but to really kind of kick it off, another reason why I used impact is when you sell service, that's our product. That's what we do. We do service. That's what we do. People want to do it. And when you paint that picture of being there in your community, I didn't come to Rotary. I was doing service when I was, outside of Rotary, but I was missing something. And I think every person on this call feels the same thing. They were missing something inside. They were doing service. They were doing good, but they didn't have a flag to fly. They didn't have that higher purpose. They didn't have that. And that's why, to me, when I talk about service, if you're talking about get that quick win, or that, let's get that foothold here, and then we can do that. I did that, and I was able to bring in the teachers under that umbrella. I was able to bring in the first responders. I was able to bring in the people. It's so wonderful too, because they will do their own. We had people that came in and wanted to do animal causes. It was like, let's go. And they came in and they're like, there's another one. We have a group of people that are in our club that do performing arts. How cool is that? I mean, what kind of Rotary club out there is like, okay, that's one of our pillars. That's one of the things that we do every year. They decided that, and they have the freedom to do those types of things. And a lot of the home clubs that do that, you'll hear this a lot. I had no idea we had that need. I had no idea we had that in our community. So those things will change not just the group that you're doing, but the group that's attached to it. You'll see that really energetic bounce from there.
Super. Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Stephen. We have some really innovative satellites that have been created in Rotary South Pacific, and I think from memory, Stephen O'Connell was involved with one of those. Right, a late question there from Deb. Deb, would you like to ask your question?
Hello, sorry. Thank you. I was just curious, with satellite clubs, they have to have certain executive positions. What are the executive positions needed for a companion club? Do they have a minimum requirement, or can we use the club treasurer, secretary, etc.?
Well, I'm a keep it simple kind of guy. According to Rotary Club Constitution and bylaws and stuff, a companion or a satellite club can have a full board if they want to. I can tell you with confidence that there's only been one club that I've helped that even had that, and that was pre-planned going in. You do have to have a named chair of the companion or satellite, and you do have to have a named secretary. Now, when my wife joined, she got an email, and I did not know that they sent emails out and said, "Congratulations, Angela. You are on becoming the secretary of the satellite club." She came up to me with that piece of paper and she said, "I thought I wasn't going to have a," and I was like, "Oh, no, our home secretary is doing that work with the RI compare and doing all that other stuff." But they make you have a named secretary there. Now, the chair position, guys, I'm going to tell you, it's the best job in Rotary. It really is. And I strongly encourage the home club to invite that chair to the board meetings. Heck, most of ours, the clubs over here, the home clubs, make that a position on the board because they're members of your club, and what a way to foster that communication and do all that other stuff. But when I said it's the best job in Rotary, it really is. I tell a story all the time that I'm sitting there on the couch and my wife comes down and she says, and I'm trying to watch the game. Anybody been in that situation before? I'm trying to watch the game. And she said, "I've got an idea." And I was like, "Okay." And she said, da 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 da. And she kept going, "And we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to da 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 da." And I said, I've noticed that she stopped, and I said, "And?" She goes, "What do you think?" And I said, "Does it cost any money? No. Will it do good for our community? Yep. Does it follow the 4-way test? Yep. What are you asking me for? Go. Have fun. Put it out there. Go and enjoy yourself." And so I wound up being, as that chair, a good communicator with our home club, but I was the biggest cheerleader on the planet. You can be flexible. You can do those types of things that you need to do. So the positions, have a good founding chair. You might not have them up front, so don't let that stop you guys. I've heard people up and down in every membership, we better have 8 to 12 people before we even start this process. Don't worry about it. The process works. Come in. If you don't have that spark plug, don't worry about it. You'll find them during the process, and it'll change the way you do things. So we'll keep it very simple and easy to do. Your secretary, because they are members of your club, they're going to be doing the RI compare anyway. So there you go. And if your treasurer is already doing the billing, they're just adding these other folks on as on the bill. That's it.
Patrick, Patrick, I like you to share now. We do have 8 members of our Zone 8 membership team are trained by you on this app and to support members. And we have a question coming here. Somebody has asked, how do I sell the companion club to my club? I mean, I know you started with it, but if you can explain a good marketing line, how a member can sell the concept to an existing club that we should start a companion club. I can see it in the question box.
I think in my mind, I've said this a lot, so that's the reason why I really didn't harp it there, but I really want for everybody to really think about this. You have to offer choices coming into Rotary, and you have to offer options before they leave. Okay. So this might take 1 minute, but hear me out. You're out buying a suit, you're out buying a shirt, you're at the clothing store and you're looking for that shirt or that suit, and somebody comes up to you. What do you say? Just looking. That's what we all say because it's the mechanism that we have. It's the psychological portion of that. It's the same thing that happens when you're talking to somebody about Rotary. If I'm sitting there talking to Andy, well, I'm going to use somebody else because if I talk to Andy, he's joining my club because we're ready to go there. But if I'm talking with Deb, who just asked a wonderful question, and we're talking about it, and I say, "Hey, Deb, can you come to my club? And I've been telling you about Rotary, and we're so cool, and we meet on Tuesdays at lunch, and we do this." Even if Tuesdays at lunch are good with Deb, Deb's mind goes automatically to, "Well, that sounds good, but is there anything else out there?" Before I commit to that, is there, well, my brother was a Lion member or any of those type of things. But if I said to Deb, "Hey, Deb, we've got great meetings at our Rotary Club and we meet on Tuesdays and we have this long hair hippie Italian. He's going to come in and talk to us and blah, 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 blah. And these are our special projects. Do you have any questions about that before I continue?" No? Fantastic. Here's another way that you can serve. We have an impact club or service, which focuses mainly on service. It's at your time and at your pace. These are some of the things that we're able to do, so on and so forth. Which way do you prefer to serve? You've totally disarmed that person into, is there something else out there, to which way do you prefer to serve? They will pick one. So that's why it's so important to have choice on how people come in. Now, this is the only product that's been developed for Rotary that I can remember right now that it's designed not just for growth, but for retention. Because if you set a companion up or you do anything like that right there, you're giving choices coming in. Now, how many on this call, I'm stopping sharing right now because I want to see everybody's hand here. How many people on this call have left or have lost somebody in their club due to life reasons? They coaching now, their kids' soccer games, they're doing this sort of thing, and we all regret it. How many people have lost somebody in the last year or two doing that? That's right. Now, what do we do right now? What we do right now, folks, is we go, "Oh man, I hate to lose you." And they always say the same thing. "I don't want to leave service to the club," right? That's what they all say. And all we can do right now is to say, "Okay, see you later. Hopefully when life changes again, you'll come back," that sort of thing. Or can we still send you our newsletter? That's where we've been. That's how we've done it for decades now. We can use the same product for growth, for retention. How about, Deb, if I take this stress off you right now, because I know life is crazy. The only thing that I can tell you right now is it's going to be crazy again down the road because we all have our ups and downs, our ebbs and flows. What happens if we just go ahead and slide you over here to the companion? Serve at your time and at your pace. And when that crazy life changes again, well, you can either insert yourself right back into the club or go ahead and do service, continue to do service your way. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going to ask you a question, Andy. If you had that at your disposal, I'm going to ask Lauren, David Kenny, if you had that stuff at your disposal and 10 people were leaving your club and you retained people that way by giving them an option before they leave, would you save 5 of them?
Yes, we will save.
You will save half of those people. So now all of a sudden we don't have to grow our way out of the basement. You can use this for retention and lowering your attrition rate and use this for growth. So that's right there, Andy, the secret sauce, as they say.
Do we have any more questions after that?
We do.
Okay.
We have one there
Go
from
ahead.
Ananya about age. Over to you, please, Ananya.
Hello, I'm Ananya from Rotary Club of Botany Downs in Auckland. Nice to meet you, everyone, all the leadership team. And thank you to Andy for introducing me to this Zoom today. So my question is there any age barrier for the companion club to form?
Yes, at Rotary International is 18 years old. They define adulthood for joining Rotary at 18 years old. So there is that. Now, I strongly encourage, there's areas and pockets in North America people want to work with seniors in high school and stuff like that. You can do that, but we want to make sure that everybody is, with youth protection services, that everybody's done like that and they can help people when they turn 18. But good rule of thumb is just stick with that 18 years old is defined by Rotary as adulthood and eligible to join Rotary. And I will tell you one thing. I have a community college over here, not a university, in my area. And the people that are in there, they join our club in droves because the people that they serve with, the people that they're picking up tires, going to serve at the Humane Society, they're doing that, are the people that they're going to be working with in a couple of years too when they graduate. So it's a very good opportunity to make sure that you're going to have to build your own bridge. So you can use the companion club as a wonderful bridge to bring people into your Rotary. Oh, last stat, hopefully, that I give you, organically, not even pushing it, organically, the people who enter into Rotary through the impact model or through a companion club model, and I stopped tracking it about 4 or 5 months ago because we really started doing different models and I wanted to get something. But over the first, 30 months that I did it, 14.2% of the people, or 12.2% of the people who entered into Rotary this way wound up in the home club. Talk about a bridge. I mean, it is absolutely incredible. And we haven't done anything to really kind of make that more. That was just organic at that point.
Patrick, we have Assistant Governor Senen from the Philippines with us, who has a model. Senen, would you like to share what your companion club model is?
Hi, good morning from the Philippines. We
Good
are
morning.
currently helping charter the very first service companion club here in the Philippines. It started off as a group of educators who wanted to be Rotarians, but their work limits their available time to do Rotary work. That's why we opened the idea. Andy gave us the idea of starting the very first. At first, it was supposed to be a satellite club, but now it might become the very first service companion club in District 3770. So thank you for this.
Wonderful.
Thank you for this very fruitful and very informative information meeting.
Wonderful. Absolutely. Congratulations on that. If you need to use the app as you're recruiting for that, be more than happy to help any way that you want to. I think that's fantastic. That's very proud that you're doing that, sir.
Great. Over to you, Kero.
Patrick, our Rotary community nominee, Stephen, has a question. Over to you, please,
Yeah.
Stephen.
My question, Patrick, is how reliant is the companion club on having a strong main club? I'm guessing that a lot of smaller clubs in our region, and let's say those main clubs, it's 12 or less people. If they start a companion with 8, that's great. They're technically at 20 members. But are there instances where the companion jumps to 15 people and the home club then drops to 6? Does the reverse happen? What happens there?
No, it's a great question, Stephen. You're full of great questions on this. We're going to have a great conversation in step one now. I love it. That's really a concern for a lot of people. If I did that, would people from my club leave and go there? And it just doesn't happen. It really doesn't. We've got all the stats there. Put it this way, the people that would go to a different option, it's more the home club going, we haven't seen you in a while. This might be the better option for you. It's initiated by the home club that winds up doing that. So you don't see and I hate the word cannibalization. That's the word that they use over here of, does it cannibalize the home club? It does not. And it actually, we were working with a club down in Catawba. When we work with the club and you guys have the team that's working for the club, we offer that menu, that choice. This is how we do this, and this is how we do this. Which way would you prefer to serve? The Catawba Club started at 33 people. They went through the recruitment. They recruited 21 people for their companion and 7 people for their home club during the recruitment period. It was absolute. They went to 61 people because if you offer that choice, all of a sudden you're asking how many people on this call said, well, why did you join Rotary? Somebody asked me. And if you say, how come you haven't joined Rotary before? What do they say? Well, nobody's asked me. Because we're doing that period and doing that, I encourage everybody to to offer both options, because now you're asking about the home club and this. You will recruit people for the home club as well as the companion through this process.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks, mate.
Sure.
Thanks, Stephen, and thanks, Patrick. Patrick, I want to, that's raised a really interesting issue. We hear lots of stories about, or concerns about, well, is this going to drain my club and whatever? Surely, I mean, my core philosophy in this thing is helping people find the best Rotary experience, or the one that really works for them. Mm-hmm. And if the creation of a companion club saw that go to 52 members and the home club wind up, is that such a bad thing if those 52 people have found their space in Rotary?
No, another great question. You guys are getting on me tonight. I love it. This is great. It is. It's not bad at all. It's not about the size of the club. It really isn't. When that happens, and it happens often, that the companion winds up being bigger a lot of times than the home club. But guess what? We're all the same members. These people are just serving a little differently. Quick question. Anybody, their main purpose in Rotary, they absolutely love the foundation. That's their main deal. Raise your hand. Anybody's main deal for youth services or youth programs? Anybody, Polio Plus? And, we all serve differently. We're all Rotarians, but we all serve differently. All these people are, no matter what type of companion you do, no matter what type of project you do, we're just allowing our tent to be a little bit bigger and allowing people to do what we already allow our people in our club to do, is serve differently. In our district, our first year, we were out of the top 10 people in service hours performed. 7 of the top 10 came from our club, because they were focused on doing service to the community. And I think that is absolutely wonderful.
And your district is in North Carolina, right, Patrick?
Oh yes. Yep. We're come from the district that invented moonshine and NASCAR.
And flying, right, brothers? Thank you, Kero.
There's another question
Patrick. Go ahead.
From Julie. Over to you, please, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Hi, we're well down the track of forming our companion club.
Mm-hmm.
Ask what are new ideas? I'll tell you some of the ideas that we're doing in the next few months, but ideas on how you recruit members. So what we're doing, we're not doing information nights, come and wine and cheese nights anymore. We do get 1 or 2. We're 39 members, so we're a good, strong club. 8 of those are honorary members, but they all work on our projects as well. They're just older, and one's 90 and still mows lawns on 5 acres that we have a lease on. I saw him yesterday. So we're having, we had a community day at that 5 acres, and we got over 300 people there, but we weren't really geared up to sell Rotary. We're having another one on the 2nd of November, and we've got 286 people registered already.
Wow.
We're geared up this time to talk about Rotary. We're having an open air theatre night on the 28th of March next year, and create a video about what we do. We'll show that first, but it will be really geared at membership. So they're different ideas, fingers crossed. We will recruit hopefully 20 or 30 new members out of this program.
Wow.
We're targeting schools, PNCs, etc. Any other ideas?
Julie, that's incredible. If you download the app, all of those informational, you can use that for your recruitment, and just download the form and give it to your secretary. It's a great way to capture that there. And the resources, when you choose Discover Rotary, that right there will give you it's those Rotary information nights, but it's a little slicker, and it's great. Sandy Olson from 7770 really developed that program, and it has all the necessary resources you might need to have that kind of upbeat. If you want to have that but otherwise you can just use it for recruitment. I will tell you one of the things that made me a better recruiter for Rotary. I changed one small thing, just one tiny thing, and I'll just give you just a little piece of what changed for me. We used to invite people and bring people to our meetings, and then you've probably heard, don't invite people to your meetings, bring them to a service project, right? You've heard that, right? That's great. That's better than inviting them to a meeting where they don't know anybody and they're listening about the Main Street Sidewalk project, on their first meeting. One of the things that changed for me is everybody that we're talking to is going to be doing service by themselves. They're going to be volunteering somewhere. They're going to be doing all those things. So I just changed it around a little bit and I say, tell me what you do for service. And they will tell me, we work at the Humane Society. Oh, wow, I love dogs. What's going on there? How you do that? What's going on? And they'll tell me all about it. Tuesday, we meet Tuesday. We get them all. Oh, man, we get to play with the dogs before we put them in. Yeah. Great. If I had 2 or 3 people, can we come with you next Tuesday to do service? Boom. It stops them in their tracks. 2 things happen. A, I just exposed our home club to something that they probably didn't know that our community needed. And that person that I'm talking to knew immediately that I cared about what they were doing enough to come see, enough to come bring people with me to do service with them. Try it one time. You will it'll change for you. It's amazing.
Wonderful. And that on the 28th of March, we'll be asking our community, what sorts of service projects can we generate in our area? Because we're scratching to really understand we're out there, but we really want to get the public telling us how they can help, come and join. And the theme for the day is come and join us to change. That's the name.
I love it. Julie, it sounds like you got a great club. One of the things that you can do too is just give a challenge. Do 31 service projects in 31 days. Publicize that out there. And you're looking at me going, who is going to do 31 service projects in 31 days? Guess what? You can. Everybody in your club has seen something that needs to get done that can get done for 30 minutes. What constitutes a service project? Everybody picks a date on the calendar, goes out and does that one thing, takes a service selfie, and you guys put it on there. Look at what the club did. We completed 31 things, 31 projects that needed to be done in our community in 31 days. You will create excitement. And it's the easiest thing I've ever done.
Great idea. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Congratulations on your club. It sounds like you guys are just bonkers. That's awesome.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Patrick. That's absolutely brilliant. Patrick, a question. I love the process that runs through and around your app. Is there anywhere in the process where you're actually collecting the innovative ideas that people are adopting to grow these companion clubs? Because you need to say around an idea like Membership Voice, always looking for ways to collect new ideas and new ways to grow Rotary. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, well, when somebody's doing it, we put the type of club because you want to be able to help promote those things. If you guys have a club, it's all about you guys. So if you have that club like the Albany Club that we were really searching around for, a model that would handle diversity. Well, that Mosaic model was something that really hit. So guess what? We can take that and bring that forward and push that. We're looking for new ideas that there is an area that we collect that information in there, and we will help you flesh that out, and we will help spread that around and that word out, because there is so many ways, Kero, that we can really attract people to do. And I don't know a tenth of what's out there. And I'm just so excited to learn. And I always tell people, first step with your team, when you guys sit down with Mark and David and Andy and Raj and everybody on the team, Stephanie and Matthew, and it's 15 minutes. Have a good call. The worst case scenario is they got to learn about your club. Isn't that awesome? You got to tell them about your club. And if there's something there that they can help you with, that's what they're going to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely brilliant. It looks like our questions have other questions have dried up, Patrick. So here you go. Patrick Longano, this is the one you've been hanging out for. Why are you a Rotarian?
Because I know that I can make a difference, and if I can make a difference, then anybody can make a difference. And I want to bring all those people together, sir.
Fantastic. Thank you, Patrick. But
yes, sir.
It shouldn't just be me that says thank you to you and Andy. I think you've done a great job. Let's give these guys a big round of applause. Come on, here we go. Well done, Andy, and well done, Patrick. Great work. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Kero. Thank you, Patrick. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Kero. Guys, you have the best team that I've seen assembled. Please use them, and they'll help. I promise.
Yes. Thanks again, Andy and Patrick, and have a good day, everyone. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Kero. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.